Good morning everyone and welcome to the class. We are doing the chapter Challenges of Nation Building, and under this chapter we have seen that the first challenge the country was facing in the path of nation building was the partition. As we have seen, so many problems were associated with the process of partition, and ultimately the partition took place, and then we were discussing the consequences of partition. We have seen that because of partition there was displacement of population, and this displacement of population was we can say it was the most abrupt, largest and unplanned and tragic transfer of population. And we must say that in human history this kind of transfer of population has never occurred, which caused so much trauma. And it is an estimate that this partition forced about 80 lakh people to migrate across the new border. So 80 lakh people, they displaced from their original place and they went to the neighboring countries. And another thing what we find that among 5 to 10 lakh people were killed in all these partition related violence. But remember, these are the official figure. The unofficial figure may be very high. So this kind of displacement of population took place, which led to violence and killings. And especially we have seen that the women were targeted on both sides of the border. Not only women, children were also suffered a lot. And what we found that what was the meaning of freedom for many people on both sides of the border was that life in refugee camp. Sometimes it was for few months, for some months, sometimes it was for some years as well. So independence has no meaning for these people who lost their original place, who became unwanted, undesirable aliens in their own country, who were targeted by the majority group. So all these were happening. And the next thing which we find, which was also one of the consequences of this process of partition, was the creative expression of many poets and authors and novelists, like we have discussed about Faiz Ahmed Faiz. He has written the poem on the dawn of freedom. It was a poem written by Faiz Ahmed Faiz. Then Amrita Pritam Se has written the poem about this trauma of partition. Today I call Warissa. So in this way we see that this is also one of the consequences. So many movies, so many TV serials up to now, even today we find such movies based on the partition related trauma and tragedy are made, है ना? So this is also one of the consequences of partition. And then we have seen that there was partition of the administrative apparatus between the two countries. All the financial assets and things like tables, chairs, typewriters, paper clips, everything was distributed among both the countries. And not only this, we see that the employees of the government and the railways, they were also divided. So this was the condition, this was one of the consequences. And now the next one which we are going to discuss is that this partition was done on the basis of religion, है ना? Two nation theory was given by was advanced by Muslim League. It was the opinion of the leaders of the Muslim League that two people belonging to two different religions cannot live together. But what happened after partition? Even though partition held, even though people were displaced from one place to another place, still what we find that on both sides of the border we see that Hindus were there in Pakistan, Muslims were there in India, even after partition, even after displacement of population. And we have this data also which says that in the year 1951 in India, Muslim population accounted for 12% of the total population. So now it was a question in front of the government of India how to treat its Muslim citizens and other religious minorities. Other than Muslims, there were religious minorities also there, like Sikhs, Christians, Jains, Buddhists, Parsis and Jews. So now there was at the same time we find that the process of making of constitution was going on, and our leaders were discussing the matter, our leaders were debating all these things, and it was decided by our leaders that the country should be a secular country. It means that every religion should have equal status in the eyes of the government. No religion can be given any kind of priority. So in this way our constitution makers adopted the concept of secularism, and the people of the country were given religious freedom, right to religious freedom, under which everyone has the right to practice any religion. They can convert to any religion as well. So this became an important element of our constitution. Later we find that by this 42nd amendment, this term secularism was added in our preamble as well. Okay, so this is also one of the consequences of this partition. And now we will pay some attention towards Mahatma Gandhi. Okay. So as we all know that we fought this war of independence in the leadership of Mahatma Gandhi, and what is observed, what is experienced, that on 15th August 1947 when India got independence, Mahatma Gandhi was not participating in any of the Independence Day celebration. Why? Because he was in Kolkata at that time. He was in those places which were very much torn by the riots, by the violence between Hindus and Muslims. Okay, he was so much saddened by this communal violence that he fought the whole fight against the British rule on the basis of ahimsa and satyagraha. But what happened that when this partition was decided and the violence broke out at a very large scale, not only with the decision of partition, actually the violence was there from 16th August 1946 when Muslim League declared the Direct Action Day. From that day there was violence, but the scale of violence was increased to a very large extent, and when this partition was finally decided. So it was a very sad moment for Mahatma Gandhi that he fought the whole battle against the British on the principle of non-violence and satyagraha, but at the end of this time he is finding that his own people are killing each other. So he went on to persuade all the people of both the communities, the people belonging to Hindu community and the people belonging to Muslim community. Both were persuaded by Gandhi to give up violence. And what we see that because of his presence in Kolkata, the situation was improved greatly, and we see that communal harmony was somehow, we can say that communal harmony was reinstated in those areas, and the Hindus and Muslims, they came together to celebrate the independence of the country. They danced in the streets. So Gandhi ji, it was only the influence of Gandhi. He attracted large crowds in his prayers, but what we find that all these efforts of Gandhi ji was the consequences of all these efforts of Gandhi ji was very short lived, because once Gandhi ji left the place, again the violence erupted. So the peace was not long lived. The violence and killing was long lived. And then Gandhi ji moved to Delhi. Delhi also witnessed large scale violence between these Hindus and Muslims. So he was deeply concerned about ensuring that Muslims should be allowed to stay in India with dignity as equal citizens. They should not be forced to live in an undignified situation. They must be given the status of equal citizenship. So he was very much concerned about this. He was also concerned about the relationship between India and Pakistan. He was of the opinion that we must maintain good relation with Pakistan, and he was not happy with the decision of the Indian government not to honor its financial commitments to Pakistan. Whatever financial commitments were there, the Indian government was not ready to honor that commitment. Okay, so Gandhi ji was very much saddened by the attitude of the Indian government, by the violence of Hindus and Muslims, by the way the Muslims were being treated in our country. So what he did, he undertook fast in January 1948. He used to go for fast. It was his usual habit. Whenever he was saddened by any event or due to any reason, he went for fast. So in the similar way, in January 1948, he went for fast, which proved out to be his last fast. When he was in Delhi and he went for fast, his fast has a dramatic effect in Delhi. Actually, what we find that the communal tension and violence which was persisted there between these two communities suddenly reduced, and Muslims of Delhi and surrounding areas now they safely returned to their homes, and the government of India also agreed to give Pakistan its dues. It was all the impact of the fast of the Gandhi that जो मुस्लिम्स थे उनके कंडीशन में इम्प्रूव हो गया, कम्युनल टेंशन और वायलेंस कम हो गया, और दिल्ली और सराउंडिंग एरियाज़ के जो मुस्लिम्स थे वो अपने घर वापस सेफली लौट आए, और गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया ने भी ये डिसाइड किया कि वो पाकिस्तान को उसका ड्यू दे दें, है ना. बट हियर व्हाट वी फाइंड दैट द एक्शन ऑफ गांधी जी was not liked by all. So in both the communities there were extremists, है ना. In the Hindu community as well as in Muslim community, extremists were there, and these extremists blamed Mahatma Gandhi for their condition. They were of the opinion कि आज वो जिस भी condition में है, दोनों Muslims भी यही कह रहे हैं, Muslim extremists and Hindu extremists were also saying the same thing. हिंदू एक्सट्रीमिस्ट कह रहे हैं कि जो भी वो कह रहे हैं, जो कुछ भी उनके साथ हो रहा है वो महात्मा गांधी के कारण हो रहा है, और मुस्लिम एक्सट्रीमिस्ट भी कह रहे हैं कि उनके साथ भी जो कुछ हो रहा है दैट इज़ ओनली बिकॉज ऑफ महात्मा गांधी. तो देयर वॉज a particular group who started disliking Gandhi, and this group wanted Hindus to take revenge or wanted India to become a country for the Hindus, just like Pakistan. Pakistan was for Muslims, so in the similar way India should be only for the Hindus. There was a particular group among the Hindus which we call extremist, because they were of the opinion that India should only be for the Hindus, है ना. So now this extremist group of Hindus, they started accusing Gandhi ji, है ना. They started accusing Gandhi ji that Gandhi ji is acting in the interest of the Muslims and Pakistan. Gandhi ji is not acting in the interest of the Hindus. He has only to take care of the interest of the Muslims and Pakistan. He only talks about Muslims and Pakistan. He has nothing to do with the interest of the Hindus. So Gandhi ji was of the opinion that if there is any attempt to make India only a country only for the Hindus, actually would destroy India. Then India will not remain India if India is only for the Hindus. So he was in very much he was very much a supporter of Hindu-Muslim unity. He was of the opinion that India must consider the Muslims as equal citizens, and in this regard we see that the Hindu extremists, they became very much they did not like this view of Mahatma Gandhi. And then what we see that these Hindu extremist group, they made several attempts to assassinate Gandhi. गांधी को assassinate करने के उन्होंने बहुत सारे efforts किए, and इन सारे efforts ये सामने आते जा रहे थे. गांधी was aware that this extremist group is targeting him, they want to kill him, but still we find that he refused to accept any kind of armed protection, है ना. The government was very much keen to provide him armed protection because of these efforts of assassination of Gandhi, but he refused to accept it, and he continued to meet everyone during his prayer meetings. He never said that he will not meet, because his prayers was open for all. So he was under the threat, but still he did not stop meeting the people during his prayers. And there was one such fateful day on 30th January 1942. One extremist was there, Nathuram Vinayak Godse, who walked up to Gandhiji during his evening prayer in Delhi and fired 3 bullets at him, killing him instantly. And thus ended a lifelong struggle for truth, non-violence, justice and tolerance. This was not only the end of Gandhi, but it was the end of the struggle for truth, non-violence, justice and tolerance. So what we find that Gandhi's death had a magical effect on the communal situation in the country. Whatever partition related anger and violence was there, it subsided very largely. And then the government of India also started to crack down on organizations that were spreading communal hatred. And many organizations like Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh were banned for some time. And in this way, we find that this communal tension, which started in August 1946, which escalated after the final decision of the partition, that came to an end. So this is all about partition. And now we move to another topic, and that is another topic, or we can say another challenge of nation building, and this is the challenge of integration of princely states. in order to understand the princely states, as I told you in the previous class also, हम लोगों ने इसको पहले भी डिस्कस किया है कि प्रिंसली स्टेट्स हम क्या मीन करते हैं। जब हम लोग साउथ एशिया, कंटेम्प्रेरी साउथ एशिया चैप्टर के अंदर व्हेन वी वर डिस्कसिंग इंडो पाकिस्तान रिलेशनशिप, एट दैट टाइम ऑल्सो आई टोल्ड यू that this is very important to understand what do we mean by princely states. So again I am telling you, but in very short I will tell you, because the same thing cannot be repeated every now and then. It is your responsibility to understand it in a proper manner. Okay, so what we find that the British India, the India which was under the British rule, actually India was divided into two parts. Before 1947 की हम बात कर रहे हैं, and after 1857, 1857 से 1947 के जो बीच का टाइम है, अगर उसमें देखें तो इंडिया वॉज डिवाइडेड इनटू टू पार्ट्स। एक जो पार्ट है दैट इज कॉल्ड ठीक है, एक पार्ट जो है उसको हम ब्रिटिश इंडिया कहते हैं और दूसरा जो पार्ट है उसको हम कहते हैं प्रिंसली स्टेट्स। अब ये जो दो पार्ट्स हैं, इट इज़ रिलेटेड टू द रिवोल्ट ऑफ 1857। 1857 के रिवोल्ट के पहले जो एरियाज़ को ब्रिटिश अपने एनेक्सेशन में ले चुके थे वो एरियाज़ ब्रिटिश इंडिया कहलाए, क्योंकि 1857 के बाद कोई भी एनेक्सेशन नहीं हुआ, किसी भी इंडियन टेरिटरी का ब्रिटिश ने एनेक्सेशन नहीं किया। जहाँ तक 1857 तक जो जिन टेरिटरीज़ को ब्रिटिश ने अपने में मिला लिया था, बस वो वहीं पर स्टॉप हो गया। तो जो एरियाज़ 1857 तक में ब्रिटिश के डायरेक्ट कंट्रोल में आ चुके थे, दे वर नोन एज ब्रिटिश इंडिया, एंड द रेस्ट ऑफ देम वर नोन एज प्रिंसली स्टेट्स। तो ब्रिटिश इंडिया जो है दैट वाज डायरेक्टली under the rule of the British government, and princely states they were under the rule of the under the indirect rule of the British। ठीक है, इन पर ब्रिटिश का डायरेक्ट रूल था, इन पर ब्रिटिश का इनडायरेक्ट रूल था, है ना। तो प्रिंसली स्टेट्स में जैसे कि नाम से ही पता चल रहा है, जो प्रिंस थे, जो राजा थे, नवाब थे, निज़ाम थे, किसी भी नाम से उनको जाना जा सकता है, उनका रूल होता था। But it does not mean that these princely states were they were having complete autonomy. No, they were also under the British rule. Only the thing is कि their control was indirect. Okay. Now you can see in your book one map is given on I can tell you the page number. It's page number 15. Okay. So on page number 15 you can see the map of India. In this map you can see some places are denoted by blue color and some places are denoted by yellow color. So yellow color places are British India, which were under the direct control of the British, which were annexed before 1857, है ना। by 1857 1857 तक जिसको एनेक्स किया जा चुका था वो येलो से दिखाए गए हैं, और जो ब्लू से दिखाए गए हैं दैट इज प्रिंसली स्टेट्स। ओके, तो अब हमें प्रॉब्लम कहाँ पर आ रही है, इंटीग्रेशन की प्रॉब्लम क्यों आ रही है। इंटीग्रेशन की प्रॉब्लम जो आ रही है वो इस कारण आ रही है, जो हमारा 1947 का इंडिपेंडेंस एक्ट था, इंडिपेंडेंस एक्ट ऑफ 1947 जिसने भारत को आज़ादी दी, जो ब्रिटिश पार्लियामेंट ने पास किया था, और इसमें जो प्रोविज़न था वो ये था कि जो पार्टीशन होना था वो पार्टीशन तो ब्रिटिश इंडिया का होना था, है ना। जो पार्टीशन होना था, दैट पार्टीशन वाज टू बी डन ऑफ द ब्रिटिश इंडिया। और जो प्रिंसली स्टेट्स थे, उन प्रिंसली स्टेट्स को इस इंडिपेंडेंस एक्ट में ये कहा गया कि उनके सामने 3 ऑप्शन रखे गए, ठीक है। या तो वो इंडिया में मिल जाए, प्रिंसली स्टेट्स के सामने तीन ऑप्शन थे, टू मर्ज विथ इंडिया, then to merge with Pakistan, and the third option was to remain independent. ओके, तो ये जो हम देख रहे हैं, ये 3 ऑप्शन दिया गया किसको, प्रिंसली स्टेट्स को। या तो वो इंडिया के साथ मर्ज कर जाए, या पाकिस्तान के साथ मर्ज कर जाए, या फिर वो इंडिपेंडेंट हो, ठीक है। तो अब इसमें हम क्या देख रहे हैं कि जब वो इंडिया के साथ मर्ज करने की बात है या पाकिस्तान के साथ, इससे सबसे ज़्यादा जो प्रॉब्लम आई, वो प्रॉब्लम यहाँ पर आई कि इनको ये प्रोविज़न था कि ये इंडिपेंडेंट भी रह सकते हैं। तो हर प्रिंसली स्टेट्स जो था, कहीं ना कहीं जो प्रिंस थे, जो नवाब थे, जो निज़ाम थे, बाई वट एवर नेम दे वर नोन, उनके दिमाग में ये चीज़ थी कि हम छोटी सी अपनी टेरिटरी हो, बट हम वहाँ के राजा रहें, है ना। फिर कुछ ऐसे भी प्रॉब्लम्स आए जो कि कुछ ऐसे टेरिटरीज जो चारों तरफ इंडिया से घिरे हुए हैं, लेकिन दे वांट कि वो पाकिस्तान में मिल जाए, है ना। ज़्यादातर में प्रॉब्लम नहीं आई। अगर हम देखें तो ज़्यादातर जो प्रिंसली स्टेट्स थे वो सब 15 अगस्त 1947 के पहले ही वो सब इंडिया के साथ इंटीग्रेट हो चुके थे। प्रॉब्लम कुछ ही प्रिंसली स्टेट्स के साथ है, और इन्हीं कुछ ही प्रिंसली स्टेट्स जिनके साथ प्रॉब्लम है उसी को हम लोग डिस्कस करेंगे, है ना। तो टोटल जो प्रिंसली स्टेट्स अगर इंडिया में उस समय थे तो वो थे 563, ओके, 565। कहीं कहीं आपको 563 भी मिलेगा, बट NCERT बुक में ये 565 दिया है, तो यू हैव टू डू 565, ओके। व्हाट इज द नंबर ऑफ, ये एक नंबर का बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट क्वेश्चन है ना। 565 कंट्रीज थे। अब आगे अगर हम देखें तो यहाँ से प्रॉब्लम स्टार्ट होता है। सबसे पहली जो प्रॉब्लम इंटीग्रेशन में आई वो आया ट्रावनकोर के रूलर के साथ। द रूलर ऑफ ट्रावनकोर अनाउंस दैट द स्टेट हैड डिसाइडेड ऑन इंडिपेंडेंस, द स्टेट वांट्स टू बी इंडिपेंडेंट। सो द फर्स्ट प्रॉब्लम वाज फ्रॉम द रूलर ऑफ ट्रावनकोर। है ना, रूलर ऑफ ट्रावनकोर ने यहाँ कहा कि वो इंडिपेंडेंट रहना चाहते। देन अगेन द प्रॉब्लम अरोज विद द निज़ाम ऑफ हैदराबाद, ठीक है। Other than this, we find that some other rulers were also there, like Nawab of Bhopal, who were not very willing to join the Constituent Assembly, and because of this, what became clear to the national leaders that it is going to be a very tough task to integrate India into अ नेशन। एक तो ऐसे पार्टीशन के कारण बहुत ज़्यादा प्रॉब्लम्स अरोज हुए थे, जिस तरह के वायलेंस और किलिंग्स हुए थे। तो एक तो ऐसे ही क्या कंट्री 2 पार्ट में पहले ही बढ़ चुकी थी, इंडिया और पाकिस्तान। उसके बाद ये इतने सारे प्रिंसली स्टेट्स थे, और इसमें से कुछ जो प्रिंसली स्टेट्स थे जहाँ से प्रॉब्लम्स आनी स्टार्ट हुई, तो ये समझ में आ गया कि इट इज़ नॉट गोइंग टू बी एन ईजी टास्क, है ना। तो ये हमारा एक बहुत बड़ा चैलेंज बनता है कि किस तरह से प्रिंसली स्टेट्स को वो किया जाए। और भी प्रॉब्लम्स आई थी, अगर हम इनको देख रहे हैं, फिर ये जूनागढ़ की प्रॉब्लम आई थी, मणिपुर एंड कश्मीर। Okay, so we will continue with this in the next class.